Novo lit that shit bang.
Welcome back, everybody, to Crows of Judgment. And last night we covered EDP445, and I'm trying not to smirk, but if you were there for the stream, we'll be uploading the segment that you probably know is kind of making me crack up a little bit right now. But I wanted to do a separate upload just talking about this because this guy is fucking done, right? Like, EDP445, about 5 or so months ago, was exposed for, being into kids. I don't want to go into too much. There are some videos that are still up from that time frame. I think that we actually covered on the channel a little bit as well. Also, I'm sorry, I got a little bit of a sore throat. But at the time, he had made this whole statement that was really creepy, kind of blaming 14 and 15-year-old girls. It's really messed up. I think I actually got a clip of it here that I want to play for you guys. But he came out later, deleted that, and then put up a statement saying that he was just trolling. And because this guy is, literally nuts and pulls off some really, really stupid trolls, people are actually willing to believe him, right? And I can understand why, because it just seems like such an absurd thing to say. But yeah, now he's been caught by a group known as predator poachers. And this is in California. I will be very clear here. I don't know how the laws will actually shape up in California. I've been told that the last person they went after, they served something like 10 years. But I also know that there were a lot of legal issues when it came To Catch a Predator, the show, and a lot of the copycats that came up of it. And these people, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or rude or anything. I actually appreciate that they went through the efforts to put this all together. They are kind of riffing on that style, right? They bait out someone that they believe is a predator. They have them engage in several long text messages and then get them to agree to meet and then, show up with a camera crew. Now, the way that this all went down, it seems to be done very professionally. Whoever was pretending to be the 13-year-old girl that EDP thought he was talking to, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that you had to sit through all of that. I'm going to show you a couple of the messages because my fucking God. I am glad that there was not actually a child involved in this. And not that I would think the predator poachers would do that. I'm just glad that this guy is getting exposed without a kid having to have actually been a victim of his. However, we honestly don't know if there are other people. This fucking disgusting human being. Maybe he's got images that he shouldn't have, like illegal stuff and everything. I think that they've already contacted the proper authorities and turned everything over. So I'll keep my eye on it and see what actually happens with it. But the long and short of the story is that EDP was contacted, I believe, on his Instagram by someone, pretending to be a fan, saying that they were a 13-year-old girl, and sending photos, right? And EDP was really into it. I like, we're gonna have our segment from the stream of us reading through the chat logs because oh my God, right? Like, it's really disgusting, but I God, sorry. This one is just fucking nuts. This one's fucking nuts, right? Anyways, so they bait him. They engage in this long back and forth via text message. They have him on audio, I believe, as well, calling someone who he believes to be a 13-year-old girl, talking about how he wants to have, intercourse with them. I'm trying to be as appropriate as I can with this video. talking about that, explaining what he will do with them, right? I mean, very graphic stuff, very, very graphic stuff was said, but by EDP to someone that he thought was a 13-year-old girl. At one point, EDP like has a breakdown and like talks about how he's so terrified that he's gonna go to jail. I mean, like, it's really messed up, and it went on for a very long time. And he sent photos of himself that are kind of inappropriate, and he sent photos of a toy that he uses. Like, oh my god, oh my fucking god, just all the worst fucking things possible, right? Then they finally get EDP to agree to meet with this 13-year-old, right? So he goes to meet with her, and this is a photo of EDP outside of the apartment complex where this crew was set up to basically ambush him, right? So there's no recovery from this. I want to be clear here because obviously, you got to say allegedly and everything. But I heard some people talking about, well, maybe he's just putting on this really long con. Maybe he's just a really big troll. But first off, I want to say I think a lot of that was before it was confirmed that this was the actual predator poachers. But think about what would need to happen, right? The train of thought for this to all just be some troll by EDP and for him to be innocent. You would have to have EDP knowing that the people contacting him are predator poachers and that it's not actually a 13-year-old girl. You would have to have EDP willing to talk sexually to somebody for weeks and talk about how he wants to engage sexually with a 13-year-old girl. You would have to have EDP willing to like go and meet with a camera crew, or at least who he would assume would be a camera crew. And then when they meet with him, he just looks shocked and dumbfounded and admits to doing all the things that they're accusing him of, right? I don't see how that's possible. And I think this guy is like he's done. Career fucking ended. Now, I've heard other people saying things like, well, he still has fans. I mean, yeah, Onion Boy still has fucking fans, right? What this guy did, what this guy was willing to do, right? So much worse than any of the other individuals that I think we've really covered on the channel, right? With the Power Cynical situation in Ivory, you had a situation where age of consent for where Power Cynical is and where Ivory is. It's both 16. That's when you can confirm Pyro knew the age, and they're engaging in ERP with each other. There was never any real attempt at engaging physically, right? In a situation with Call Me Carson, you have a 17-year-old, and like the Ivory and the Pyro Cynical stuff was like 16 and 19. But at one time, Ivory was 15, just to give you the full context. In the Call Me Carson situation, you have a situation where you have a 19-year-old engaging with a 17-year-old who's like a month away from turning 18, right? And they were clearly sexting and doing lewd shit on Snapchat. But 17 and 19, nobody fucking cares. You have James Charles, right? Who I think out of the three I've just mentioned, James Charles definitely taking the cake so far because he's a thirsty internet fuckboy who keeps trolling on Snapchat for dick. And look, I think it's pretty obvious that at least some of those stories should really be looked into. But at least with those situations, you don't see James Charles flat out saying, you know, I don't care that you're 14 or I don't care that you're 15. I don't care that you're 16 or any of that stuff, right? He still asserts that they lied about their ages. And one of the stories so far has just widely been debunked. But then you have this shit with EDP, right? EDP is something like 35 years old trying to hook up with a 13-year-old girl. Okay, months ago when he was exposed, he said some really nasty shit. And let me go into the thread here. I'm gonna have to skip over one portion because there's a photo here I don't want you guys to fucking see. I had to see it. I don't want you guys to fucking see it. But just some of the messages, right? This, like, I don't want to say it. We read it on the stream last night. I don't want to fucking do it again. But you can clearly see calling who he believes to be a 13-year-old girl a princess and sending a photo of himself in bed shirtless. Um, like you can read it for yourself. I'm not gonna fucking do it. Over here, caught in 4K. So this is outside of the apartment complex. Had to skip over the text in question there because it's a picture of the toy that he sent to someone who he believed to be a 13-year-old girl, right? Banger on EDP's creepy ass head. Thanks, follow me. Now this man is a menace, and he sent a dick pic. So this is really blurry, so it's pretty hard to see, right? But I guess he talks about, like, I really don't want to even show it. Like, we did on stream last night. There'll be a video up of it. I don't want to derail too much from this. But let's go into the statement that he made like 5 months ago when he was first outed.
Because let me tell you again, bitches who are 15, 16, and 17 dressing like little skimpy ass fucking bitches, walking around here, parading around here and shit, trying to set motherfuckers up, trying to message me and shit, and then when I respond back, all of a sudden I'm the piece of shit. Nah, motherfucker, you're the fucking piece of shit. And
yo, this nigga's a fucking clown, bro.
So at the time 5 months ago, something very similar had happened where a person that says that they were like really young reached out to EDP. EDP got very sexual. They tried to expose EDP. EDP, this was his response to the situation at the time, right? I'm paraphrasing a lot of these events, right? This was his original response at the time, right? He deleted that and then put up another response saying, oh, it was just a troll. I was just trolling. I knew that I was being trolled. And everyone accepted it as being true, right? And given his character, I can understand that much, right? But given new context and given what he's just been outed as, I mean, like, I wonder if there can be a case made for that other event as well, right? But, you know, talking about... I want to finish this off only because I feel like we should all laugh at this fucking clown with Bo Blacks, who found his new gaming video. And I'm going to have to mute the audio, but... What the fuck, right? Hey, all I can say is throughout all of 2021 so far, it's good that this guy being exposed here literally has no defense to this shit, right? And the people that did this, you know, they went through the effort, like a long effort, where they had to deal with some really creepy ass shit in order to expose this person. So I just want to say good on them, good on Predator Poachers. Everything that I can see from the way that they've handled this, what I've looked into last night and this morning, they've handled everything professionally. And I'm actually kind of hoping that the work that they've done is enough to put this guy into a prison cell, because I mean, he seems like the type of individual who will actively seek out children. I hope the cops get involved in this one. I hope Predator Poachers has reached out to the police and has provided everything over to the cops. And if you're a fan of EDP, you're just going to have to accept that maybe he was funny at one point, but the dude's a damn pedo, and you should probably bail on that fucking situation now.
Novo, let that shit bang.